Grant Hill has just made it to the been nominated to the Hall of Fame. First, I'm gonna talk about Grant Hill in a minute, but first I want to say some of the people that made it. Tina Thompson made it. I know everyone that knows basketball, a basketball head, know Tina Thompson played for the Houston Comets. She was the first draft pick of the WNBA. I believe she won. I believe they won three championships. They won the first three of the women first championships ever in the women's game. The Houston Comets was very, very dominant back then. She also played with Cynthia Cooper. Steve Nash made it, the Phoenix Suns, and he played with the Dallas Mavericks. But he had his most success with Phoenix Suns. He won 2 MVPs on the same system that Mike D'Antoni is running in Houston, that James Harden is running, and he's about to be MVP. That's just a great, great system that D'Antoni runs for point guards, especially point guards with the skills of James Harden and Steve Nash. Steve Nash was a great, great point guard. I know a lot of people give Steve Nash some flack for winning 2 MVPs in the heart of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant career. We all know Shaquille O'Neal, he only won 1 MVP, and Kobe only won 1 MVP himself. But I believe by those guys being on the same team, it sucked some of the votes from each other. But those guys should have still won more than 1 MVP. But big ups to Steve Nash. Jason Kidd made it. Jason Kidd was a great point guard back in the day. Great defensive point guard. He was really the triple double point guard after Magic Johnson. He kind of took that mantle over. Jason Kidd, he played with the New Jersey Nets. That's when he had his best years. He took the New Jersey Nets to back-to-back finals. They ended up losing to, I believe they lost to the Spurs one year, and they lost to the Lakers another year. But they ran up against all-time great teams, and those teams had multiple Hall of Famers on it. But big up to Grant Hill. Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd also shared the Rookie of the Year with Grant Hill back in 94 or 95, one of those years. Ray Allen made it, one of the sharpshooters of my time watching the NBA. He was an all-time three-point leader when he left the game. I believe he's still the all-time three-point leader. We know Steph Curry probably going to end up breaking it, and there's a couple other guys probably going to pass him because this is a three-point era. But he was famously known for playing in that movie with Denzel Washington, He Got Game. That was a great movie, a cult classic. Big ups to Ray Allen, and he also won championships with Boston and the Miami Heat. Maurice Cheeks made it. He used to play for the Atlanta Hawks. He also played for the Sixers. No, he didn't play for Atlanta Hawks. He played for the Sixers back in the day. Maurice Cheeks. He wasn't. He was a good player. He just not made the Hall of Fame. See, the Hall of Fame is not the basket. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It puts your college, your high school, your international play, your Olympic play, and your NBA play. They take all that into consideration. So it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So all of those things are the categories up under it, because you got some guys that played overseas and never played in the NBA and they're in the Hall of Fame. But big ups to Maurice Cheeks. Charlie Scott made it. Charlie Scott is, I seen a documentary of Charlie Scott about 3-4 years ago. He was the first African American player at North Carolina. He was also a great player for North Carolina. Congratulations to Charlie Scott. Rod Thorne made it. Rod Thorne, I know everybody, people that follow the Bulls and Bulls fans know Rod Thorne was a general manager of the Bulls back in the day. He actually drafted Michael Jordan, so he actually had one of the great draft choices in NBA history. But my thing right here is going to be on Grant Hill. Grant Hill was a phenomenal player, man. Back in the day, Grant Hill he was a guy that was unfortunate with injuries. He had injuries that kind of shortened his career, kind of like Derrick Rose, where he had injuries that took him away from the game. He missed at least 3 full seasons. He missed at least 3 full seasons playing basketball. He was playing with the Detroit Pistons when he finally got the Detroit Pistons to the playoffs. I think it was like a a couple games or a week before the playoffs started, he hurt his ankle in a game, and the doctors advised him not to play, but he wanted to play because it was the first time he played for the Detroit Pistons for like 5 years, and that was the first time they was ever going to be in the playoffs. And he wanted to play, and he ended up messing his ankle up even more. Kind of he displaced his ankle, he said. And after that season, he went to the Orlando Magic. He wanted to join up I guess the thing was this: he wanted to join up with Tracy McGrady, because Tracy McGrady was leaving Toronto. He left a good situation there, and Tim Duncan. All three of those guys was gonna pair up together. They was gonna be like the first modern day big three, and all those guys was in their 20s. I think Grant Hill was like 24, maybe 25. Tim Duncan was probably like 25, and Tracy McGrady was younger. Tracy McGrady at the time was like 22. So that would have been a dynamic team, but Grant Hill was hurt. Tim Duncan didn't go. He ended up signing back with San Antonio. Grant Hill did tell the story that he was at a dinner with Doc Rivers, because Doc Rivers was the coach, and he said that Doc Rivers told Tim Duncan that his family would not be able to be on the plane. So he said that's the reason why Tim Duncan did not sign with Orlando. And he was very, very upset with that. And that was the first time, and I believe Tracy McGrady was there, and that was the first time Tracy McGrady had heard that, and he was upset. You could see the upset look in his face. He was kind of laughing it off a little bit, but he was really upset. But like I said, Grant Hill was LeBron James before LeBron James. Grant Hill was a triple-double flirt. He was getting 25 rebounds, 6-7 assists, and about 6 or 7 rebounds. And he was also a really, really good defender. He was the guy that was the NBA wanted to take over for Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan retired. Because when Michael Jordan retired, the NBA took a big, big dip. But congratulations to Grant Hill. I knew he was going to get in. He's kind of like a Gale Sayers, where he had like 6 or 7 great years, and you just know, even though he got injured, you know that guy's a Hall of Famer. Now I'm hoping Derrick Rose, just a plug for Derrick Rose. I'm hoping Derrick Rose will be able to make it, because Derrick Rose, I think he deserved to make the Hall of Fame too when his career's over. I'm out.